Yes, we got the go-ahead from the divine one, whoever that is. But so the basic, that's the understanding, at least I came out of it with, which is being ourselves being ourselves reality. Um, what's looking is what you're looking for. So that's the premise. Now, it doesn't matter if you believe it or not. That's the premise. Yeah. And then you start from there, which turns the direction away from looking for the goal, but looking at what's looking for the goal. Yeah. And then that's a novel change, a novel shift. And then the understanding that comes after, uh, based on that premise, brings into stark contrast the misunderstandings that we live under. Truly, I've never seen anything better than non-duality to bring up the misunderstandings about things. Yeah, it just brings it into such a clear light. And so then you recognize, first of all, self is the idea of self as we're talking about it, the small s, has gotten way too much credit. It's already, most of us speak about it as a noun already, yeah? When it's really inferred by selfing, which is a verb, yeah? So the selfing never completes the mission. It says it's already completed. It already, when you are listening to the selfing, you're under an assumption, truly under the influence of an assumption that you are already that which you could never be. Yeah, you are already a long-lasting, independent, separate entity. There's like, so basically the possibilities that are before that idea, which are vast, get severely limited when that idea is taken to be true, that you are already this self. And so most people are driven with that misassumption. They're driven to try to get out of self. Yes, which makes sense. It's hostile. It hasn't treated me well. Shit like that. But we don't understand that there's no self to get out of. It's an activity. Hey Z, thanks for making it. Yeah, we had a website was leading everyone to a Tupperware meeting. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah. So this assumption, yeah, of being Paul now becomes the before. It takes the seeming place of what we are. So to the point there that we look for what we are as what we're not, with what we are. Yes? So doesn't it make complete sense then to stop trying to understand what you are from what you're not, to try to know what you are from what you're not, trying to experience what you are from what you're not? Doesn't it make complete sense that the only way, in a way, would be negation? Yeah, I would need to negate the assumed fact, yeah, from the fact. Yeah, not not negating, because if you're thinking you're negating the assumed fact from the assumed fact, that's denial. It's not negation. It's reinforcing, yes, the one that's negating. Yeah, that's not it. It's seeing, it's a negation. Yeah, now everyone's here, yeah. Yeah. It's it just makes complete sense that if you are being ourselves reality, then all that's necessary is negating some assumed facts. By what? By not seeing them from what we're not, but seeing them from what we are, which is really the only source of the seeing here is from what we are. The source of the idea that we're the seer comes from what we're not, yeah? But the source of seeing is what we are. So now you start seeing what you're not. And in that activity, which is brilliant, it's not framed or defined by time. So in other words, it doesn't necessarily mean the more you see this, there'll be more, there'll be more seeing. It's not that way because it's not of time. Yeah. The seeing is like a lightning bolt. And so you see what you're not as an activity. Yeah. You get the, and then that what happens after the inferring of what you're not, that's the pause in a way. There's a spaciousness there because you don't go over that mental bridge and go to selfville. Yeah. You haven't taken that walk this time, and there's a big space when there, and that space is holding the selfing, and there's no leap to the idea of self. Yeah, you see it in its nakedness. Yeah, and at that moment, presence is profound because the seeing, that seeing what you're not, is not of time. Yes, it's beautiful, really, and. You know, I had this event with getting struck sober. I felt that sobriety that struck me was not of time. And because it was not of time, I was able to be convinced. Yeah. Because nothing was fucking convincing me through time. Jail sentences, fucking rehab sentences, 2 years in this, 10 months, nothing. I never got convinced by time. Never. Yeah. But I was in the state of being convinced when I got struck sober. It was a present tense knowledge, not an acquiring of knowledge, not a book full of knowledge, but a knowledge, a living, tactile, where the rubber meets the road knowledge. Yeah. And thank God it had a sufficient enough voltage that at that point I was convinced of two facts as the action figure, which was I'm fucked and I'm not managerial quality. Yeah. But that same event can have different meanings. Yeah. So the same way you get whacked by this message of non-duality is quite similar. But in that case, it's not that you're fucked and you're not managerial quality. You're not the one that's fucked, and you're not the one that's not managerial quality. Now that's a clean sweep. That takes everything out. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing left after that. After your great revelation in life was you're fucked and you're not managerial quality. They were the two hulls of an imaginary boat the selfing could barnacle on. That gets washed off. That there was no one who was fucked. What? And there was no one who's not managerial quality. There's just not managerial quality and being fucked. Yeah. Then there's never been another one after that. I don't think there's anything else there. Yeah, because before the fuck, there was the idea of me. Before the unmanageability, not having managerial quality was me. That before seemed to stay no matter what that came after got swept away. There was still Paul thinking everything got swept away. When that gets swept away, which it doesn't even need to because there isn't one there, but I like the imagery. When that gets swept away, basically, in a way, you put the broom down, yeah, because that's the last answer. It's not a denial or a negating of what's happening. It's a negating that there's a someone that is happening to or is doing it. Yeah. Now, does the someone, that image of the someone that thinks it's happening to or doing it, does that get completely erased? No, that's part of the programming, but you travel lighter through it for sure. Yeah. Your knee-jerk reaction as an action figure, if something happens, is somebody did it to me. That's what happens. You're not going to be, there's no therapist that's going to get before that. There's just no way. Yeah. It just comes up immediately. Now, if you believe that's the evidence that you're that, well, I don't. Yeah. I believe the whole manufacturing of Paul can continue. Yeah. The traveling lighter isn't based on that getting dismantled. It's based in a loss of interest in it. Yeah. Like today, or I think it was today, or whatever. It could have been yesterday. I was driving one of these, a Prius. I have two Priuses. One my girlfriend uses, Amelia, and I use this other one. Well, I was driving, and then the car shut off. And if you've ever had a Prius, it's called like the Triangle of Doom. This thing comes on the dashboard, and you can't put it into neutral, and it just dies. You know what I mean? Now, when I saw that, when the action figure saw it, I felt this huge rush, fuck, but not even fuck. It was just a rush. And then the rush dissipated, and then it was basically doing what you need to do. Pull over, call AAA, you know what I mean? The rush, there was no story launched on that rush. There was just a rush. The rush passed. Okay, the car's broken. Pull over, call up. Yeah. Get towed, and then fucking deal with it or not. Doesn't matter, but dealing with it. Yeah. So, did I believe, oh, that feeling totally verifies there's a Paul? No, I don't. I believe it's just like when after years of being sober, when I would take a 17-hour flight to Australia and I'd be really fried out, my body would flip out going through customs because I feel like I was carrying like a kilo of drugs and I'm going to get Interpol has my picture and I'm going to get arrested. Now, was that true? No. Yeah. But the fact is, it happened. The body reacted to a fear that I'm going to jail. And it took years for it to change. Yeah. Even though my mind had changed years before, it took years for the body to let go of that contraction based on its history. Yeah. Which I can't argue. It's just sort of like when I talk to people about having sinus problems and then I omit that I did cocaine for 20 fucking years, and then I'm going, I wonder why I have sinus problems. Well, I put tons of weird shit up my nose. Yeah, what's good? You know what I mean? So this whole idea of, oh, I had a thought, or the thought seemed to have me. I'm out. I'm Paul. No, if you're waiting for no thought, you're basing that waiting on a thought. Yeah. When there's no thought, there's not going to be anyone there to notice that there's no thought. When there's a disappearance, no one reports back that they disappeared. Yes? There's just a disappearance. Yeah? It goes unnoticed in the journal, so to speak. Yeah? It only comes back when the mental manufacturing gets regrouped and then claims to be the one that had disappeared and then calls me and tells me they've been disappeared for a few weeks. Yeah. Does that have to stop? No. Yeah. That you better be clear. The warning isn't for that shit to stop. The warning is to realize it's mechanical. It's not based on volition. And your condition truly isn't like hinged on that condition. Yes? In other words, it's sort of like all these different conditions in the content really don't have much influence on the context. Yes? But see, we see the content, and what we call the context, Paul, is a part of content. Yeah? So we believe Paul, if it feels weird, it's exiled. Somehow, I've separated from the Godhead, and now I have to claw back and purify and go through 30 years of whatever to try to get back to where I left. What is that but playing God? Yeah? Really? Yeah. So I don't think I have it like it was, but the same circus is in town. Yeah? You know what I mean? But it's down to like, one barker, maybe a domesticated tiger. And, you know what I mean? The people aren't even getting up on the trapeze anymore. They just gave up. But there's the tent. Yes, there's the idea of Paul, and seeing everything from this self-centered position. I'm not going to spend much time working on that. Actually, in my case, recovery did a great job. Yeah. I mean, it allowed me to be a free range fucking alcoholic. Yeah. It doesn't demand much attention anymore. Yeah. The attention goes to the living of the life, not to who's living the life. And it obviously doesn't go to the Zen bitch slap, because I'm the last person to realize there's no messages on my own seeming website. Yeah. Probably go there once a year, twice, once a year to hear the music, maybe. So this is what we share, hopefully, here. And to be clear, every talk has been premised on being ourselves reality. Yeah. If you truly don't believe that, I would say you're not that truly doesn't believe it, and continue on. But if you truly believe that you is the authentic you that doesn't believe it, then, shop somewhere else, really. There's nobody, this isn't like a draft. Yeah, it's not, you're not under a consignment. Hopefully it's worked. Yeah, or it's working. The shoe fits. Yeah, and you have a resonance that causes you to go through the awkwardness of some discomfort that arises when you start questioning the system from outside the system. Yeah, and you're not willing just to give up, and just most people send me Christmas cards like 3 years after. The first 3 years they fucking hate me, and then it starts dawning on them what I was meaning. Yeah, and then they're like, fuck, I finally get it. Yes, well, yeah. So, but if we keep putting the invitation in, yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. You may land on the same number, but one of those times you land on the number, everything will be different. Yes? You'll hear it for the 800th time. You can't use the Buddha to seek the Buddha, but finally it will be a template that goes over your whole life, and you'll see it. Yeah? You'll see it. By seeing what you're not, you'll come about to the fact that you're the Buddha. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful, really. So, yeah. Yeah, it's like the last answer for the action figure. That's pretty good. Yeah. I've had two last answers. One was about sobriety, and one was basically about life and interpretation of life. Not bad. Yeah. Sobriety has lasted longer because, in the scheme of things, I think sobriety needed to happen first. And then the next answer showed up, which has illuminated the first answer completely and brought about a real sense of the freedom from the bondage of self. Real sense of that. To the point that I'm convinced of it, of that diagnosis. And then I knew it one time when I was at a satsang that it was like an unspoken yes. I could feel it like in my gut. And it felt like knowledge before all knowledge. Yeah. All my trying to get knowledge, the knowledge was already there. It just needed a trigger. Yes. And satsang was a sufficient enough trigger. Yeah. And basically the game was over then, really. Yet there's 9 innings to play. So it plays out. Yes. But basically the game was over. Your head is in the tiger's mouth. It's a done deal. Yeah. And who would have thought? I thought non-duality would be just another stepping stone to some extreme radical Zen monastic Buddhism or whatever, but no, it stopped a bus, it kicked me off, and yeah, there you go. Yeah. I wouldn't trade it for the world, man. I could not believe how taxing, how draining seeking is. It's just fucking mind-boggling. It just sucks you dry. And with this incredible noble pursuit, there's a denial of what's happening right now. How could that be clear? Yeah. Yeah. So, yep. Well, I guess we got, some people figured it out. Hey, first of all, I apologize to everybody. I was truly the last one to know because I don't go to the Zen Bit Slap website, but here we are. We made it. So I appreciate it. So what else were we saying? I think that's it. Why don't we open up to sharing and stuff? But after a while, you know what happened with me when I started to look at it this way? It quickly became like a seamless logic, yes? Negation never falls over itself. It's clear. It's very clean, yeah? Because I would hear other people talking about, oh, there's nothing to do, and then giving out a plan of what you need to do, yeah? So there'd always be like a weird, they'd be hanging themselves if they had too much time to speak, yeah? And in a weird way, I felt embarrassed sitting in the audience, you know, because I could see it coming. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Once again, the emphasis is on the single doer. Yeah. So, but the negation is so seamless. It never disrupts that assumption being ourselves reality. Yeah. It doesn't. It goes from there, a straight line into what's not so. Yeah. Yeah. It's beautiful. So, and you can see the weird magic of these Zooms, yeah? Some of us have been coming for a while, and you would think, how could something come through these screens? But it does, basically because it's already on the other side. But yeah, it's sort of funny in a way. I've seen people really light up on Zoom. I've seen finally the light go on in the master bedroom. And it's even with my bad eyes, I could see it. And I've seen people's facial structure change over time. And I've seen people like that come out of the corner. And I've seen Stefan being like a solid rock. And I see Z, you know, he's the mystic voyager. He's come a long way to go nowhere. It's awesome. So, you know, you have I've gotten so much out of these squares. It's awesome. It's really cool. And then seeing and then having her come over to the house, bring some incredible food, sharing some fellowship. Yeah. And, you know, this isn't about downplaying the trials and tribulations of the action figure. I just have a great faith it's going to bring a lightness to it, even to the heaviest condition. You know, a lot of times, in this world, sometimes there may not be a quick out, yeah? There may be some pain and a discomfort, yeah? So what would be the best remedy if there can't be a perfect absolution, which would be traveling lighter through it, yes? Traveling lighter through it, seeing how the weight is distributed from where I seem to be into the problem or into the experience or the pain, to see that there's a huge transferring of meaning that, unbeknownst to me, I'm the carrier of. Yes? I'm the carrier of it, to the point where I saw my own vested interest was my own worst enemy. Who would have thought, you know? When I concentrated on getting better, I got sicker. Yeah. Spend tons of money taking shit I never needed. I still do every once in a while. I take 2 tablets, I never take it again. Yeah. So I have $26 in a little plastic bottle because they, and now it happens once every few years. It used to happen all the time. I was be, I had hope that something would change how I felt. Yes. And that drive was incessant, not only in its biggest flamboyancy, which was drug addiction, it was in getting better. It was in, becoming clearer. There was a cognitive dissonance. Nothing was going straight ahead. There was all this other shit going on, and it was best to neutralize my dominant role. Yet I couldn't neutralize it. That would be more of my dominant role. But non-duality took the fucking rug out from under it. Yes? The urban renewal project was canceled, and that budget went to other things. Yeah? And I had no say on where it went, but I could observe it, and I reflected on it, and the wonder and awe I would have by its demonstrations, the seamlessness of this mind, the big mind, just had me on my fucking figurative knees. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm not getting better. Hallelujah. Yeah. I've been freed from the need to get better. It's enough is enough right now. I have the quality to go in the water, the quality of life and shit like that, and I'm going to enjoy it till I need to do something. Yeah, if I have to. Yeah. Mm. That would have been accompanied with tons of thought before. Tons of thought. There would be so much shit going over, so much shit. It's just the mental state's just licking stamps all day. It doesn't. It's in the mail room. It's not doing. Yeah, you just keep it busy. Yeah. I was remembered by thought all day. Now I don't remember a thought during the day. But before I was remembered by thought. That's the only Paul I knew was that which was being remembered through thought. Yeah. Now I can't remember a thought all day. Do you think that could come about through thought? Of course not. Yeah. Can you arrive at that which demonstrates no effort in thought through effort in thought? Give me a break. Give me a freaking break. A lot of times what we call I'm being is just more doing. Yeah? If it's strenuous and it's a lot of work, that's not being, that's doing. And if something is trying to do to be, it must think it's being something already. That's the negation of non-duality. Is that idea that you're something already. Yes? Yeah, you are, but it's that which you're using to look for itself. Yeah? So, yep. Thank you. I think a lot of people found their way here. Great. Thank you. I'm trying to make you people prove your sincerity. Take away the Zoom link. See what happens. You've all done great. Very good. Successful. Thank you, Grasshopper. Yeah. Next week there'll be another trial. I had to get the links mailed to me. I don't even know the Zoom link. I think that's better actually. So yeah, any questions or anything? Anyone want to say hello? Yeah.
Well, you said Negation never falls over itself.
Yes.
Can you expand upon that?
Expand upon it. See, there's all right. Let's say there's a presentation of negation, and then 5 minutes later in the presentation, there's a presentation of doing something to get towards negation. Yeah, that would negation doesn't fall over any of that. Negation, negation, negation. You find out what you are by seeing what you're not. Yeah, it's very, very clear, very clear. So it doesn't fall over itself. It doesn't, the negation doesn't lead to a doing to get anywhere. Yes? It's hopefully disarms us so that we can see that what we're using to understand and to know, yes, is not of us. That because we are of that, we don't need to understand and know it. First of all, you can't. Yeah? So that there's a loss of interest in knowing and understanding and experiencing. And usually most people will share it coincides with an obviousness of presence. You see? It's sort of like the party's really good until you get there. Then it sucks. You got to see we play a big role. Yes? So when you're interested in knowing and experiencing and understanding, it seems to escape you all day. When you're wanting to get it, you're in the hunger or the pang of not seemingly getting it. Yeah. When there's a loss of interest in all that, the butterfly lands. Yes, so to speak. How do you lose interest in it? By coming to the futility of it. Aren't you at that point already? You passed that marker years ago, probably. Yes? You passed it years ago. The futility of it, the recognition you can't use yourself to find yourself. It's just that simple. That's the final blow, yeah, of that misdirected hope that someday you're going to arrive. You're not, yeah? Nothing doesn't have a back seat. You're not getting in, yeah? That futility was just wrapped in hallelujah quickly. It was fantastic. When I lost interest in the need to be liberated. Yeah, it's fantastic. Probably, I mean, the anxious. Well, yeah. All right, anyone else?
Hi, Paul. Uh, it may sound funny, but I forgot. What am I supposed to negate? What am I supposed?
There's no one who's negating shit. There's a negating of the activity that implies there's a one. Yeah, you don't negate the activity. You negate the implied, the inferring. Yes. So there's no one who's negating. Yes.
Right.
You always Huang Poing me there, Gio. I may have to come down to Brazil. Yeah,
You're welcome.
yeah. I've been Huang Poed once again. Yes, of course. I like that. Well, who's doing? There's no one doing negation. There's just negation. That's the beauty of it. Can a verb stand alone?
No, but wait, what are you negating? Wha-
The negation, exactly. There's nothing to negate, but the arrival at there's nothing to negate is to negate the something that there's nothing to negate.
Okay, right, right.
I think I just out Hawang Poed,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Yeah. You don't want to start going into verbal jazz with me, bro.
No, no, no. I don't want really. No, I want. No.
I'll be doing a Love Supreme. A Love Supreme. No, no. Yeah, bro.
I was really deeply troubled because I forgot what to negate, it's serious.
That's well, there's like let's look at it before negation and after negation. That's the feeling after negation. Yeah.
Okay.
Forgot. Yes. That's cool, bro. I like when you say I like the flavor of your head at times. It's not your head. I like with the dream seems more real when you realize it's dreaming. Yes, I like that.
Mm.
It's true. So, all right. Hey, Jim. Jim.
Yes, sir. Yep, I can hear you.
I want you to warn me 5 minutes before you.
What's the matter?
I gotta prepare for Geo from now
Oh,
on.
I can't live without you.
Oh,
So Paul,
Okay.
Satish, this is
Nice.
Satish.
I'm just still reverberating with Hwang Po. Yes?
Satish, go for it.
Okay. So that negation happens occasionally, which realizes that this action body, action figure is doing what it does, and that happens for a while, but then the forgetting happens.
But what forgets is the action figure, not you. So when the action figure seems to appear, then there's a forgetting. Yeah? But has there been? No.
Yeah, but there's a forgetting of it being an action figure. So it
Oh, great.
goes back into being an action figure, Oh, sorry, I should say.
Well, that's duality, bro. That's the duality of what you would call spirituality. So you feel you're not an action figure, then you feel like you are an action figure. We're throwing both of them out. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's the spiritual duality. This is what most people in spirituality wish for is stabilization. They don't like this experiential movement, but they're not at the core of the issue. So they're thinking, oh, I was free from the action figure, but that's actually was claimed by the action figure. And
Yeah.
then now I'm bound by the action figure, and that was also brought up, inferred to be the action figure that is now bound by the action figure. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the wet dream of the action figure is that I want to have the experience of my own absence, but I want to be there to report in.
So does the traveling light happen
What?
by itself, or
Well, yeah, everything's happening.
yeah,
Yeah, you could say by itself. Yeah,
yeah,
the thought system just doesn't think so.
right,
You can't blame it. It's a thought system, so to speak. So that's what it has a center which we call self-centeredness in recovery, and the thoughts are given meaning to support that assumption that you're a long-lasting, independent, separate entity.
mm-hmm.
And knowing it's such a flimsy story, it's backed up with memories, which is images of you as being earlier, Paul, and then future worries, which provokes an image of you as a future Paul, destitute or shit like that. So it's working quite a lot to reinforce this idea. Yeah.
Mhm.
It has to keep reinforcing it because there's nothing to reinforce. So it's a lot of a lot of glue and a lot of wood, and then when it's gluing the wood, it says the wood is already glued. But if you just sit and watch, there's never any gluing. There's just glue. It's like this. Yeah. So yeah.
So traveling lighter will happen when it happens.
Negation doesn't play a huge role. It's a beginning, and then basically resting in what you are is the negation of what you're not. Yeah, there's no going out and negating. It's a profound negation because you're now resting in what you are, not agitated in what you are, what you're not. Yeah, there's something that's happened, and your starting point is different, so to speak. Yes.
Yeah.
So
And that
now,
resting in what you are will happen when it happens.
well, it
Or
is. It's already. It's always available. Yeah.
yeah.
So basically, the only thing that's causing it not to be is believing it's not available. Like Nisargadatta. I don't know if you knew him, right? You didn't know him, but you've heard of him. Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
Nisargadatta. His story. I didn't read it much, but people just called me up about it and said, he got this message from a guy, a guru, a teacher, and the guy said, listen, just believe that whatever, you are whatever. And he had so much faith in that, that's all that was necessary for him. Yeah? He just believed what his guru told him
Mhm.
completely. And so it came to be. Yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his secret. He just heard it. The guru said, all that this is the only, this is what's going on. He believed it fervently. And there you went. And then shit happened that to verify it, obviously. Shit started coming through the dude, and yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm hoping to happen here.
Like one of the primary treasures of non-duality, so to speak, as a storyline here. Yes? Yeah. So uh, everything has to do with faith, not a faith, faith. And I'm telling you, when you feel like you have no faith, that's faith in that. You can't get away from faith. Yeah. I'm talking about faith like one of the primary forces, like gravity and whatever. I think faith is the primary force in the dreaming. It's what allows everything to appear, is the faith in it. Just like they say about the stock market in America. The whole stock market is based in faith. As soon as the investors lose faith in it, it collapses. Yeah, it's all made up. It's completely made up. Everything is. Yeah. So Nisargadatta was sharing how faith was used in that particular situation and how valuable it has. It was the basis of his whole recognition, so to speak. Yeah. And all he did was hear it from someone he respected. Someone he respected. You can hear it from someone you don't respect. It can work the same way. Because it's not my faith or your faith, it's faith. Yeah. It's a powerful, powerful. See, in recovery, we speak about faith like being convinced. Yeah. Now, my life, I had no idea. I didn't know I had ability to be convinced, but it was shown that I did, because I was convinced I was screwed completely to the point where there was never a debate or a review or anything. I've never had a strong inclination to drink or use for 33 years. So that's faith, bro, eh? Something showed something and there was faith behind it. And that faith led me actually directed me into a circumstance that brought me to the way of life that was going to allow that sobriety to flourish here in time and space, yeah? I was right away, got whacked like 10 in the morning, that night I was at a recovery meeting, which I had no idea, not a thought about going to, at 9:58 in the morning. And yet life conspired to bring me to where I needed to be, and I never left that community. And it allowed what I thought was impossible to happen, which was to straighten out all the curves in Paul. Paul had a very, he was he was dysfunctioning happening, really. And so, and not only that, that would have been more than enough, but then, I was allowed to hear the message of non-duality down the road. And then I heard non-duality, and I had a similar event. I was convinced at a certain point. Yeah. It was like an unspoken yes, whatever you want to call it, something in my gut, but I just knew, I knew. And then there's a playing out, but the whole nothing was put in. Yeah. And it was, it was just Paul would find some water here, some light there to germinate the seed. But the fact is, the seed had the whole tree. Yes? Yeah. Yeah. Your head's in the tiger's mouth. Yeah. You're thinking, the throat is some thoroughfare. No, you're going down. You're in. There's no backing out. You don't have reverse on your head when it's in the tiger's mouth. You're going one way. Yeah, there you are. That's the message of satsang. If you've come here and you've heard, if you've heard satsang, yeah, it's a done deal. Yeah. So have faith in that. What other faith? The only other place it's going to be put is in you, and that's insane. So, yeah, open up for the faith to go somewhere else. Yeah. By what? By seeing the futility of this idea of being a long-lasting, independent, separate thing that knows no bounds. That's the before of all befores. That's the seeing but it can't describe how it does the seeing. It's the hearing, but because it calls it the hearer, but it couldn't tell you how hearing happens at all. Yeah. Yeah. It just claims away, and we just sort of, I would say mind, and then mind in a suit. Yeah. So mind in a suit is sort of like this identification as the action figure. Yeah. Mind's there, but it's in a suit. It seems it can only go through arm slits and leg. You know what I mean? And it's like a marathon runner in a closet. Yeah. It's still a marathon runner, but it's in a closet. Yeah. So this message hopefully, puts the marathon runner in an appropriate location, which is big fucking open space. Yes? Yeah. So it can stretch out. See, your mind, big mind, not your mind, big mind is not a thought. It's a presence. It's a vibration. Yeah. It's like a frequency that contains all other frequencies. Yeah. Every note that ever played gets led back to there. Yeah. Yeah. And you're not on the note or near the note. You're of the note. You're of it. Yeah. Yeah. So when that trickles down, like a spiritual economy that actually works, when it trickles down, it's seen as traveling lighter through a life. Yeah. Like a lot of people here have trouble some levels. I'm actually disabled from getting run over by cars. Yeah. I have chronic discomfort ever from since 1980. It's a long time. In time. We all have trials here. Yes. The whole point is, how are you going to avoid or avert those trials? You don't win when you argue with how things are in a way. Yeah, but you can travel lighter through them by a loss of interest in that which thinks it's traveling through it. Yes? Yeah. I mean, I watched people when they took me to a teaching hospital with severe people broken bad. When I was in the whatever it's called, orthopedic ward, and a lot of these guys and women were motorcycle accidents, everything, really gnarly conditions of the body. Yes? And they wanted us to have a sense of belonging to each other because they thought it would be healthy, right? We would support each other because you're in a bummed out situation. So we met even after some of us were released from the hospital. We would meet. And the trajectory of every person with very similar severity was all off the charts. Some people became addicts after that. Some people who were addicts before that got sober, It had nothing. You would think those were like ink tattoos, but they didn't. You are still the most influencing thing of anything that ever happens here. You. Yeah? You can outshine circumstances or you can be drowned in circumstances. That's it. That's the faith. That's the potentiality. Yeah? Yeah. Now we have a statement in recovery. You tap into an unsuspecting inner resource. It's a fucking wonderful life as an action figure to have an assurance about that inner resource. I'm not living in an unsuspectedness of it. My whole intimacy, my whole art project in this life as an action figure is being a brush that's painting with. Yes? That's the whole joy of it to me. Yeah? Yeah. So we're at a point we're trying to see, like Ramana said, let's say there just is, and then there's a conception, a mental idea arises, which is that which is animation infers that there's a thing. So, yes, there's a presupposing of a non-existent thing being existing, yes, in and of its own accord. Yeah. So I'm the seer, I'm the hearer, I'm the thinker, I'm this, I'm that, which is completely gets washed out in 5 seconds of investigation. Okay. So there's this presupposing. So supposing is like an assuming. You don't have. It's not based on fact. You just assume the store is open. You didn't check if the hours have changed. You just assume it. And your behavior is based on that assumption. So you drive to the store 50 miles away, and then you're fucking surprised when it's closed on Wednesdays. Yeah. And then you go, they verify how right you are to the website, and it says it's closed on Wednesday. Yeah. So, but this assumption has to do with the assuming that verbs imply a noun, and that you're the noun that's doing all the verbing. Yes? This is fundamental, way, way off. Yeah? Without this correction, which is not necessary because it never happened, nor will it. Yeah? That's the beauty of the correction. There was no need of the correction. Just like Gio was saying, who is there to negate? There's no need to negate when there's no one there. Yes? That's the whole point. But when there seems to be someone there, negation is valuable. Yeah. So this idea of this presupposing of this non-existent thing being existing, and then wanting to get salvation for this non-existent thing. That's like a primal drive, yeah? That salvation be maybe meeting a mate, getting a better job, having security, whatever it calls salvation, yes? It's all based on this assumption that the non-existent thing is the existing thing. That the attributes of subjectivity are actually qualities the object has, yes? which is what non-duality negates. It negates that, yeah? There's no object that's subjectivity, yet all objects are the appearance of subjectivity, yeah? But no object is subjectivity. So, presupposing of a non-existent thing, wanting to get salvation from a non-existent thing. Okay, if that's the case, your spiritual practices themselves are reinforcing the non-existent thing. How can they destroy it? He could have had 800,000 examples after that of something you're doing or seemingly doing that you believe is eroding some condition, is reinforcing the condition. He used one example because these were spiritual seekers probably at the meeting, but you could use thousands of examples based on the same premise, a presupposing of something that isn't true taken to be true. Yes? Seeing that, do you want to get lost in the trees or do you want to get out of the forest? Yeah, that's the point. Do you want to see the particular shit going on or just to see the fundamental basis of why there's this particular shit going on? I would like to go into the blueprint room. I don't want to try to get out of a house when I've already been built into one. I want to see the blueprint room and maybe things can go another direction. Yes, I believe they do. Yeah. So your spiritual practices. And so he warns us down the road, but I've lost the page. I don't know where it went, where he talks about the policeman and thief. He says, yes. So there's the thief now, which used to be Paul. Now you see this is a segment of self. So now it's the thief. And now another segment of Paul takes the role of the policeman, unbeknownst, seemingly, to what I am. Yes? Of course it is, but, going along with it. So now you concentrate, I got to get out of the thief. And then this thing seems to be crazy. It seems to want to punish shit. And now you have a problem with perfection. I should be the perfect fucking devotee. Where did that come from? You were just fucking trying to shoot cocaine when you were the thief. Now you should be perfect. You should be the last person who leaves the meditation hall. You know what I mean? It's insanity. So now you get caught in the policeman aspect of the selfing, yeah, because you only saw one side of it, where the negation is duality. The negation isn't negating the heads of a coin; it's the head and tail of the coin. Yes, the subject objectness, not just object, subject object goes. Yeah. Yeah. Something's got through, Satish. I know it. So, and the way I see you, you're moving through the intestine, heading toward the colon. Yeah. So, relax.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Something stops.
I'm gonna have Gio's voice in my head coming out of the pillow. Where the hell is Gio? Something stops. Love it. Don't you love these Zooms, really? I think they're pretty good. It's almost like improvisation. You never know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ. Yeah. Nothing. That I'm sure is. You'll either have a lot more or less, but it's always nothing. All right. Anyone else, Jimmy? No?
No,
Jim?
doesn't look like. Gio's still hesitant. He has something to say. Heads up.
Come on, say it, Gio. He said it. That was the loudest I've ever heard Gio speak. The silence was deafening. Very good. Anyone else, Jim?
No, but you mentioned early on, you said something like sobriety is of time or timelessness. I forget. What were you?
Yes. Well, I'm talking about this, my own sort of
Yeah.
take on it. Yes. So I felt I got all of sobriety in a nanosecond, and then it grew and played itself out over 33 years. But I felt like the oak tree was in the acorn, so to speak. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what
I see.
it's the same sense I have with the idea of non-duality. Yeah. Yeah. It's like non-duality doesn't grow, but the expression of it grows in you. Yeah. So it's sort of cool. Yeah. Yeah. Well, if we don't have any more questions, yeah. Any no one else?
No.
All right. Well, let's say goodbye then. Okay. Jim, thank you. You did a great job under duress.
No problem. Thank you, Paul, for yet another session.
And some of the people here sent out messages. Yeah, they showed up. Very good. Yeah. I was totally lost. I had no idea. Yeah, what was going on. So I think Mike's changed it. So there is going to be a meeting on Saturday, a live one, and a Zoom. Have you liked the Zooms on Saturday with the live talk? Anyone? Yes. All right. Yeah. So we're gonna have we'll have the live talk at 1:30 at St. Andrews, and we'll have the Zoom along with it. So if it's not on the website, it's going to, well, it'll be up. I think Mike is putting the stuff up now. Yeah. So the link will be up on the website by Saturday. And so tomorrow morning is recovery. It will be there. If this link is up, they're all the same link. Yeah. You know what I mean? What you use to get to this one, you can use it to get to the recovery meetings. We don't have any different ones for all the meetings. So we'll have Thursday will be 10:30 to 12 recovery. All right. So Saturday will happen 1:30 live and on the Zoom, and Thursday will be happening. Tuesday, the third Tuesday of the month is over. The Nothing Conference is over. Yes? They're not doing it anymore. So that the one message we did have on the event board isn't true. That's canceled. Yeah. Okay. Anybody have any trouble? I'll just say it once again. Tomorrow, 10:30, 12, same Zoom link, recovery. Saturday, it's the same Zoom link. 1:30 live, Z, I'll either get you or Marin City. And 1:30, the Zoom will start and we'll have live. Okay? So all right, Jim. So thanks, John, again. Thank you for helping out with the getting the people in. Gary, nice to see you as always. Yes?
Thanks, Paul.
Welcome. Stefan, always a pleasure. And I mean always. Is in the always category. Yeah, I'm always happy to see you when I come to the Zoom. Tommy, nice not to see you. All I see is a color there. We got Z, always a pleasure, Z. We got Matt, nice to see you, my friend. Matt J.
Yeah, thank you, mate.
You're welcome, bro. Judith, can you give me a call? Do you have my phone number?
I have Amelia's.
Oh, yeah. Could you call Amelia in about a half hour or so? 'Cause
I
she has
will.
it. Thanks.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all
Okay.
good. I just wanted to talk.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you for the talk. Just beautiful.
Welcome, honey.
You're so endearing.
All right, we got Gio. Yes. My little Hawaiian Po. Hey, you know, uh, coming from me, that's a great compliment, Hawaiian Po. Hawaiian Po is my favorite dude, tell you the truth. You know, I always liked the the swiftness of Hawaiian Po. Yeah, yeah,
It's not a coincidence. I love him also.
yes.
I love all those Zen and Chan people because they make it so simple. I like them. I really like them.
Yes, yes. Well, yes, yeah. Well, we got Linda, Linda S. Linda makes it very simple. It's always nice to see you, Linda. I don't have any other comment to have with you. It's always nice to see you. Very simple. And also with Mary. Where's Mary? Gee, she's in here somewhere probably. Clifford, as always, Chiang Mai. He just lost his headphone, his plug-in. Yes, nice to see you.
And you, man.
We got there she is, Alex. Alex is gonna teach me sewing sooner or later. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, nice to see you.
Good to see you, honey. Yeah. Say hello to Sarah and everyone. Yeah.
I will.
Thanks. Got JP from Vietnam. One of my favorite characters. Nice to see you, JP. Johannes, my main man in Germany. Very nice. Thank you. Thanks for sticking with us, Johannes. Yes, we appreciate it. Anu. Anu. Nice to see you, Anu. That food was lovely. Everyone was happy about it. Yeah. Yeah. We got Satish. A pleasure. Satish goes out and explores, comes back, goes out, comes back. Always a pleasure to see you back, Satish. And Taj. I remember I met Taj, and nice to see Taj come in. Yeah.
Nice to see you, Paul.
See you, Taj. We got, let's see, who else is here? We got Suzanne M. We got Susanna. Nice to see you, honey. Happy you got here. We got John R. from right above Byron Bay in lovely, I love the east coast of Australia. Yeah. We'll be back there, John, sooner or later. We got John Luna. I'm happy to see John back, another guy from Long Island. Nice
What's
to
up,
see you.
Paul? How you doing, man?
Yeah.
Good to hear from you.
I have a strong feeling you're doing well. So good.
Yeah, I need to come in every so often and keep get it. Yeah,
We're
I
here for
appreciate
you.
that.
We're here for us. That's how it works.
Great, thank you.
We got a couple of numbers here. I guess it's a phone number or something. And yes, it's a pleasure seeing everybody. Have a good rest of the day or night and or morning. And I'll look forward to seeing some of you tomorrow and then some more of you Saturday. Yes? So I think yeah, if anyone needs to know where it is, Saturday, it's at St. Andrew's Church in Marin City. It's 101 Donahue, I think, Street. So yeah, a lot of parking there. It's pretty good. Thanks. See you guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye.
Thanks, Paul.